This is to all the young people, not the middle-aged people in their 50s and older people in the TMC. If you have any doubt as to what is the correct moral position that you should be taking, and you feel that outraging and disappointing as it is, the election has been called and that the incumbent must resign, then do not hesitate to stand up and speak out. You must preserve your clarity about democracy, the importance of elections, and the constitutional process. And this is all the more important in an environment where the Modi regime is undermining all these three. His dishonesty, criminality, corruption, attempt to subvert the electoral process cannot be answered in kind. I'm sure you already know this. I'm very disappointed at the lack of moral courage and clarity and integrity in people of my generation who are sitting in the TMC as MPs and of all our elders. I'm ashamed of them. I'm already ashamed of one set of elders who educated themselves on WhatsApp University and have been spewing all kinds of vile things, Hindu right-wing chauvinist things for the last few years. But I'm now seeing a different type, but essentially the same thing, a lack of moral clarity, a lack of understanding of what it is to have a democratic polity among our elders on the other side of the political aisle. You young people have been let down by what I call midnight's children and grandchildren. Don't let them confuse you. These people are not going to be around for much longer. That's just a fact of life. They are not going to be around forever. So you must not even think that your political career will be over forever if you stand up and speak for what is right. If you do that today, tomorrow India will bless you. We need people who are clear about the kind of country that they want. And this is also the lesson that both Gandhi and Nehru gave to this country. And in West Bengal, it's very unfortunate how in many ways this lesson was never learnt, and this lurch from one violent and repressive ideology to the other is most unfortunate. However, those of you who don't subscribe to this trend in favor of the Hindu right in West Bengal, those of you who have stood up and supported the TMC and so on, be in no doubt that the only correct thing for you to do right now is to respect the decision which has come out. If this election has been rigged, then you are going to have to go through the provided processes to prove that. If those processes are rigged and those institutions are rigged, you still have a lot more work to do convincing everyone of the case. This has still not happened. We have not seen the argument being taken to its logical end. We have not seen the urgency that you claim after losing elections. If it is correct that the SIR was going to win the election for the BJP in West Bengal, then the opposition parties should have fought a united front, because of course it is front and center that elections should at least be relatively have relative integrity, have relative due process. But if you were so certain that that was not the case, as you seem to now be saying, then you should not have fought the election separately and split votes. Some of the results which are coming in are showing that had the Congress and the TMC and the AIDMK and the CPM and the AIMIM joined in various constituencies, they would easily have beaten the BJP candidate. So, I mean, There seems not to have been a seriousness on the part of the opposition to have considered a loss in Bengal. I'm just hoping that that is what it is, and it's not as if you have already given up on democracy. We Indians gave up our lives to have self rule and democracy during our freedom struggle, and that is the nobility and courage that you are going to have to display. And for you to think that it's going to be easy, it's never easy. It took 100 years for the Sangh Parivar to come to where it is today. You're going to have to think in the same terms. We have truly lost the mind of the country. As many of you say, the country has lost its mind. All these things are true, but none of it is going to come back by this blind partisanship and by refusing to respect the very democracy and constitution that you claim to be standing for. I'm still hoping that it's just the initial shock, and that where the dust is soon going to settle, and we are going to see a return to some semblance of a proper process and an understanding that flouting election results is a very, very wrong and serious thing. And even if an election has been rigged, this is not the way to respond. Jai Hind.